Grand Rising to the Moorish American Nationals. Today is May 21st, 1440, and 1441 on the moon calendar, and 2020 on the Gregorian calendar. We are excited about this particular time that we're in. It is the age of knowing, so we have to keep our spirits open so that we can hear, so that we can know what we need to know in order to move forward in our progression and in the Grand Rising. The Grand Rising is a fluid, moving, living being. That's what the Grand Rising is. And so we have to remain fluid like water and flexible so that we can make the adjustments as we rise and as we get the demonstrations done that we need to get done, that we know what to do next. So when we keep our ear gates and eye gates open to the spirit and to the ancestors and to our higher selves, we're able to do that. I want to take a moment and ask, and if you know even part of the answer, please *6 and unmute yourself so that you can speak. The question is, first, is there anyone here who has not nationalized that would like to do so? If you're *6.
Travis Russell
is there
would like to nationalize. Yes.
Islam. Okay. What territory do you domicile near?
Cleveland, Ohio.
Islam. Are there any justices in the, I believe that's the Central Territory, on the line who can assist him? And we welcome you.
Thank you.
We're so happy that you're here. Islam?
Savannah, Bay, Colorado Territory.
Yes. Did you say, okay, there's a lot of noise coming from a few places. I'm going to go ahead and mute a few people just so that we can hear. I believe someone said that they were going to assist our brother.
Yes, I can assist him with that.
Islam. So that's Empress Susanna, correct?
Yes.
Okay, let's get that taken care of first, because that's the most important thing for us to do right now. So, Empress Susanna, do you want to, if you're at the chat, brother, can you see the chat on this call, or are you calling in by phone?
I'm on a laptop.
You're on a laptop, so can you see?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I put my email in.
You see her email address in the chat?
Let me see. Okay, what is it?
Can you see it there in the chat? There should be.
Is it
down at the bottom of your screen? If you click on chat, it will pop up.
Okay.
Or it might even be at the top of your screen. Okay.
I see it. I'm writing it down now.
Okay. Let her know when you email her that you are the noble who's on the call today and that you want to nationalize, and she will assist you. She is in the Central Territory. That's the most important thing with all of these calls, and we're going to do that every single time. Starting
Run while you can, mister.
Ensuring that that those who came to nationalize can do so. Islam. Let me just make sure where that is coming from. Just a minute. So that is the first thing we're always going to do. So anyone interested in nationalizing, go ahead and take down that information so that you have it, so that you can also be a part of all that's going on with the mowers. Okay. Next, we want to welcome the brother. You've made the right choice. In the times that we're living in right now, you've made the right choice.
Well, I know I have.
The citizens, the citizens don't stand a chance. They don't stand a chance at all.
I'm
and
fighting
so we have to come out of that
battle.
Yes, we all have had them or are having them, and we're assisting one another with them. So it's a good thing that you're on the call, and we appreciate that greatly too, having you, because we need as many people as possible to come out of that system so that we can tell that system what to do and tell it where to go. Islam. Next thing we want to do, Islam, did you want to say something, brother?
No, I'm here dealing with a tough battle with the information and
Islam.
It's not as much as it being true as it being them being caught up on their own religions and own ideologies and what have you.
Well, yes, Islam. So ensure that our prophet said that he gave us enough to save a nation. Now we should take it and save ourselves. And so saving yourself is going to be the most important thing first, and then you can help those around you who don't get it, who don't understand, you know. So it's better to sharpen yourself first, and then you can assist them better. Islam.
Thank you.
Islam. And we're glad you're here. Is there anyone else here who wants to declare their nationality, who has not done so, who is of the bloodline and the birthright? Islam.
Islam. Is there anyone near North Carolina territory?
North Carolina territory?
Yes.
Yes, there is. The closest we have on this call to North Carolina territory would be Georgia territory. I think we have a couple of justices from Georgia territory on the line.
Okay.
Islam. And also you can, have you declared your nationality already?
No, not yet.
Not yet. Okay, you want to do that?
Yes.
Islam.
Hey, Pauline, I found the list for Guantanamo Bay. The people
there is,
on are not
hold
on
on for just a minute. Let me shut that noise down, because that's not supposed to be on here. Okay, there we go. Now, there is, and let's see, you said you're in North Carolina territory. There are, if you go onto the website also, there's some information there. Abasi Talib Bey and Justice Jeramore are on the call here. If you'll look in the chat, they can assist you as well.
Oh, okay. Great.
Look, can you see Justice Abasi Talib Bey?
Yes.
Okay, Islam.
Come on here to tell us what we're not doing and what.
You know what? And the whole economy is shut down because we have leaned everybody out of business, and that's the only excuse they could come up with. So we're good.
Yeah, like
he does every day.
You're not welcome here. Islam.
I'm a Moorish American national. I've already declared my nationality.
No, you're not. Hold on.
You sound African. You ought to stop it with your lying ass.
He is an Albion. He's an Albion.
The person who's lying to you is Pauline.
Don't pay him any attention, y'all. Don't pay him any attention.
Liar.
He does tell a lot of them. They are really, and he's actually paid. That's why he comes on here regularly. Every call we have, he's on here because he's a paid shill. But our energy cannot be harnessed by anyone but us.
She cannot
and
provide
if we don't
any
give
proof
you
that
energy, you don't get it.
Or the people that she sent in Guantanamo Bay. If she can provide that proof, I will stop calling.
Why is you worrying about it, man?
No.
Why are you worried about it? Why are you worried about it?
I'm not worried about it. I just want to
Hold on. Let me get him. Hold on. That's the thing. If it doesn't work, why are you so adamant about being here? No one chases a fantasy.
That's right.
So anyway, let us continue. So this is the thing that I wanted to say today about where we are as a nation. And Morris, please get used to that kind of stuff because
go to the Morris Science Temple of America where you should be not following this woman.
Anyway, never mind. We'll just keep muting him.
Can you lock the call?
Yes, I can. Done.
Morris Science Temple of America has been compromised.
Yes,
Morris
they have.
Science Temple of America can be found on Dun and Bradstreet as a corporation owned by the United States Services Corporation.
Islam. Well, and here's the thing about all of that. Here's the thing, and I love this. This is great because we love the temples. They just need. There are some temples that are doing the right thing. You know, there are some that are doing the right thing, but they're the vast majority, and anyone that is a 501c3 has not been doing the right thing. We're not even going to get into how some of them have been using the names of the members to get benefits, but not telling the members they're doing that. But that's a call for another day. So, Morris, get accustomed to, resistance, so to speak. But the resistance doesn't hold water when you're using the law. The sovereign, supreme law of the land, resistance cannot stand with that. So I wanted to ask another question because we have some here. Is there anyone else who wants to declare their nationality and let us know what territory you're in so that we can get you paired up with someone who can get the documents to you?
I would.
Islam?
Islam, Detroit territory. The issue I'm going through is I've been on a few conference calls and I want to do my paperwork. When I declare it, I just want to try to have it in red and capitis nolo. And
is that the one that I have here?
When I went on the website, it's the judicial notice and the proclamation. And
were
when
you
I tried
able to download them?
I was able to download them, but I wasn't able to change them over to red and decapitalize them.
Okay, so if you go on to the Moorish American Consulate Public Records page on Facebook, do you have a Facebook? Okay. Are you on social media?
Yes, I'm on there. I'm actually on that page.
If you look through there, I posted an in capitis nolo appellation change document there about it's been about almost 2 months since I posted it, and it is downloadable. It's blank, and when I say blank, I mean there's a place to put your appellation and everything, so that it's just a template. That it's exactly what you're looking for. I posted it there about 2 months ago. So I posted it. Yeah, I posted about 2 months ago, and there's several other documents that are templates that are there as well. Until we can get the website pulled up correctly, we're making the changes are being made to the website, but it's a lot of changes because all of the documents on there have to be changed to In
like I
capital
have
no
some
law.
that are already changed, but I don't want to take the step. I can't take the steps on those until I take the steps on the first.
If you have some that are already changed, why do you not want to use them?
Because I haven't proclaimed my nationality, so I have papers. I have lien paperwork that has been changed.
Okay.
But I haven't made the appellation change, so I can't do that paperwork until I do the appellation change.
Okay. And you actually can do that paperwork. You can do that paperwork.
Okay.
You don't really have to wait until appellation change. Because, see, in reality, your sovereign proclamation is it. That's the law. That is the law. So you don't have to wait.
Okay.
Islam?
Okay. Islam.
Just to let the brother know that the moment he proclaimed that publicly, that is his declaration. The paperwork is just to bolster that and to give him something to operate with so he can study and read and learn the things from it. The paperwork does not
Okay, so I have been reading it. Okay.
Islam.
Islam.
Okay, thank you, Islam.
Islam. Hey, good day, Empress Light. This is Sheikh Maliko. I was just wondering if this was a good time for me to go ahead and just talk about, the astrologies that's going on. Not so much about the eclipse for this call, but for the next call, I'll talk about the eclipse, but basically what's going on in the universe and understanding the times that we're in.
Sure. Let's take, but let me make sure that we're not missing anyone where nationality is concerned first, and then we'll get to that. Okay.
Okay. Cool.
Thank you for that.
Okay.
Is there anyone else who needs to nationalize?
I will. Can you hear me?
Anyone else? Okay. We want to be sure that that gets taken care of first on all of our calls, so that we can be sure that our mores are taken care of.
You want to nationalize.
Huh?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes.
Okay, yes, ma'am. I would like to get information to change over.
To nationalize?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So thank you for that. We're glad you're here. Your intention is well noted. Thank you. It is well received. What territory do you domicile in?
Texas.
Texas territory. Central is on fire. Justice Tariq has placed his email in the chat. Can you see the chat, or are you on phone?
I'm on the phone.
Okay.
But I can try to write it down.
Okay, go ahead. Justice Tariq, do you want to go ahead and start it?
Islam. My email address is my appellation, Tariq, T-A-R-I-Q, Bey, B-E-Y, 2018 @gmail.
Okay.
If you send me your contact information, I will respond with a complete nationalization and identification packet. Islam.
Okay.
Come on now. Islam. I love it.
Thank you.
Anyone else? We don't want to miss a single more. Islam.
Islam, sister, I'm going to send for that same packet just to make sure that I have the expedient, correct way to proclaim my nationality.
Islam, yes.
And so that's Tariq Bey 2019 @gmail.
It's 2018 @gmail.
2018, okay.
Yes, 2018.
Thank you so much.
Islam. Okay. So, boy, I am absolutely excited. The next question that I have, and if anyone knows the answer or can contribute to this information, please *6 and do so. Does anyone know what the duties and responsibilities are of the Postmaster General? If you know what the duties and the responsibilities are of a Postmaster General, *6 and contribute to that, if you know some of them, or at least one of them.
Yeah, brother, Mr.
Islam, Justice Tariq.
Islam.
They supervise operations and regulate postage rates. They act as a government liaison, overseeing postal service employees and overseeing wages and benefits.
Islam. Correct, yes. Anyone else?
Islam, Justice Genesis, Pi-L. They oversee banking operations as well.
Yes, they do. Islam. Islam. Anyone else?
Islam and transportation.
And transportation, that's Justice Marcel. Islam. That is, yes. And someone else was going to say something, one of the other more.
Yeah, Islam. I was about to say they control the flow of the mail.
Yes.
So they basically control the flow of the mail.
Islam.
Islam.
Islam is Chandler Smith Bay. They regulate.
They regulate what? I can hear you.
Islam.
Go ahead, Empress.
Oh no, I was just saying they regulate the rates of the
rates. Islam. Islam. Anyone else? Justice Jeremiah, were you going to say something?
No, it was Tiger. They actually, someone said mail. It's actually post. It's called the posting rule or the mailbox rule. So if you go into an office and you put something over the counter, or if you go into the mailbox on the corner, as soon as something is put through, it actually is delivered. So they control it. It's actually called the posting rule that actually controls that mailing that the brothers mentioned. It's called posting.
Islam. Islam.
Islam.
Islam.
I was just going to make the overall statement that it regulates the flow of cargo.
Islam. That's important. That's very important. Very important. Very important. That is actually okay. So today we posted a video on YouTube at Like Tajiri Bay channel regarding all Moors being Postmaster Generals, sovereign, original, indigenous Postmaster Generals. All Moors are that. I would encourage all Moors to really, really look into the duties and responsibilities, because we've actually not been told the whole truth about what the Postmaster General does. So I'm going to read to you a little bit of the history so that you know that they put a whole lot of smoke and mirrors up, but nothing is as it seems. So in 1776, at the time of the signing of the so-called Corporate Declaration of Independence, the said corporate signers were bankrupt and therefore could not enter into contract lawfully. Additionally, anyone who is at war cannot lawfully enter into contract, treaty, or agreements of any kind. The same bankrupt corporate actors, again, throughout the years, have pretended to enter into contract unlawfully. The whole time they've been unlawful. And so, since that time, multiple bankruptcies have occurred, all while the corporate debt of those corporate actors and their corporate citizens, this is important for now, and the corporate citizens, the debt continued to be compounded. The said corporations and the corporate United States Corporation Company citizens were given 3 opportunities to pay the corporate debt that was due to the Crowne Corporation. The year of the death of our prophet Noble Drew Ali in 1929 was the end of their second attempt at paying off the corporate debt to the Crowne Corporation. And you know that 1929 through 1933 were financially, there was a lot going on there. And the reason that all of that was going on was for this very reason right here, okay? That was their second opportunity to pay off their corporate debt, and they did not do it. So then, at that time in 1929, they presumably pretended to hypothecate the titles to the land. But they couldn't do that because our prophet had put some things in place.
What is the definition of hypothecate?
In reality, they could not, they couldn't, in reality, just a moment. Just a moment. In reality, they couldn't actually take the title to the land because the title rests with us. Our land is unalienable and inalienable. Okay? And so they hypothecated it in 1929, 1930, 1931, 1932, 1933, and that is what happened with the Act of 1933 where they, did HR 192 and all of that. Okay? However, at that time, the Moorish courts were still active. Our sovereign courts were still active. And so some of the Moors, even though their stuff was seemingly taken, it really wasn't. Okay? And so in 1999, that was the third and final attempt that the United States Corporation Company and its citizens had to pay their corporate debt to the Crowne Corporation, and that attempt was unsuccessful, of course. And that's why they keep talking about the national debt, that's their debt. So that brings us to the question of who really do they owe all of that debt to? Who really do they owe that debt to? Okay, and they were saying they owed it to the Crowne Corporation, et cetera, okay? Now, make no mistake about it, the universal, original, indigenous, sovereign Moorish Americans who are the Moorish National Republic, federal government, and all Moorish governments and nations have always been and always will be the true and living crown. And there never was a time when we were not the crown. So the true living crown, not the corporate one, but the true living one, okay? And just a moment, let me do just a little bit of housekeeping. So then, for corporate citizen affairs and just for the sake of who the corporate crown is, the corporate crown that all that debt was owed to was Queen Elizabeth's corporation, but more precisely, the one that's been sitting behind her very quiet. They call him Prince Philip. Why would she be the queen and he be a prince? Ever thought about that? Because he is the one that they call the prince of the power of the air. He really is actually in their world, because not in ours. He is actually King Philip Corporation. King Philip Corporation is who they owed their debt to. Why did they owe the debt to him? Because he is the Postmaster General for the corporation. That's why. He was over all commerce. He was over all transportation and travel. He was over everything that had to do with corporate paper. Quiet as a mouse back there. You never hardly saw him, but he was the Postmaster General the whole time. And whoever else occupied that seat. But they put her up in front like she was the culprit. But really, he was the one signing the documents. And the only reason that he sat there quietly like that and had absolutely nothing to say is because he was in control of all of that corporate paper the whole time. He and the Vatican and the Service Corporation, they did it together, but he was the Postmaster General, the corporate Postmaster General. And the corporate Postmaster General is over everything that has to do with the estate of the corporate people, which is a debt estate. So all citizens are in debt, and they cannot pay the debt to this day. But again, corporate debt has nothing to do with the Moors. Now, we've been asleep in that system, but not really. That's why they said we could never be citizens, because we've never really been in that system. We have always been the original indigenous sovereigns, even in our sleep. That's why they continuously needed our signatures, even in our sleep. They could not do anything even then without sovereign signatures. And that's why we were treated differently from everyone else on the earth. And so he and some of his underlings and some overlings, because there are some over him as well, and it's, of course, the Moors, work. And this is for the corporate side, so we're not a part of the corporate side. On the corporate side, he and his underlings work to enslave the citizens by way of corporate debt, such as mortgages, loans, taxes, fraudulent corporate court cases, utilities, and ballooning fiat inflation. He is also, as Postmaster General, every court in their corporate world is under his quote-unquote authority. Every court, every one of them. Now, they've been pointing us to the British accreditation registry. Okay, that's his. That's his. That fakeness, all of that fraud is him. And all of the quote-unquote attorneys and all of that who did all the things that they did, they answered to him. But he could only do that as Postmaster General. If he wasn't Postmaster General, none of that would be the case. None of the courts would have to answer to him. They would have to find a postmaster. And that's why every post office had a Postmaster General in their region, underlings who answered to him. And that's why when many of us started to wake up to who we were and we tried to get things done at the post office, we met with resistance, much resistance from them. That's why. They were taking their orders from him. And then he and the Pope would work together so that the policy enforcers would take their orders from the Pope. So what have we done about that? Well, Moors have no debt, so we don't owe allegiance to anyone but ourselves and our nation. And the first thing that we have all done, and some of you have not done it yet, but I encourage you to do it, we've posted an unum sanctum document on the public record. The unum sanctum policy, our grant sheet talks about that policy all day, every day. That is what they've been working off of. And it was our job to decapitalize unum sanctum and place it on the public record so that now policy enforcers are no longer under the Pope. That's why you see him standing in places now by himself or with 2 or 3 people, you know, and not a whole goo-gob of people, because he's not an authority anymore. He's not. And so unum sanctum placed on the public record takes care of that. There are other documents that we are decapitalizing and placing on the public record as well. But unum sanctum was the main one, because unum sanctum is the one that put everyone under the quote-unquote Roman pontiff, and Roman was in capital letters and so was pontiff. But when we decapitalized that, we put it in lowercase letters. Now you're talking about ancient Rome, not the Holy Roman Empire, because that's them. That's the overlay. We're talking about the original, indigenous, sovereign, natural, divine Rome. But remember, we are, not only are we Rome, we are the Phoenicians, we're the Greeks, we're the Moors from every generation, the indigenous original people who wrote all of the languages and all of the laws, Moorish Latin, all of that. That's all us. And we're returning back to that. So I would encourage you to look at that unum sanctum document and type it up for yourself and sign it in red and put it on the public record. Because when you say that everyone is under the Roman pontiff, pontiff is not even a singular word. That is a plural word. That's just like sultan. Some people think sultan is one word. Well, according to the corporation, it's one word. It's a word that means one person. But from antiquity, it means a group of us, because we never did anything alone. Anything that's valid, we did it together. And that's what we're doing now. And so with regard to Postmaster General, we put a video out today encouraging all more, making some announcements, so please watch the video. And also encouraging all Moors to place on the public record a sovereign, universal, original, indigenous Postmaster General affidavit stating that you and all Moors are the Postmaster General for our land. And that is another step that is being taken to put us further in control of the estate. Believe it or not, those people are only operating off of documents. That's why the libraries are so full. They are operating off of documents only, and then they get someone to enforce their documents, and then everyone just goes along with it because nobody reads and nobody studies previously. But now we study, we read, and have been doing so for many, many years in terms of all total. Our Grand Chief's been doing this for 40 years or more, Grand Chief Tashreeq Bey, and many others who are doing the work in this noble mission. And so we should never have just one more doing anything. There should always be a group of us, a whole nation of us taking responsibility for our estate. We shouldn't have just one Postmaster General. We should not have just one emperor or empress. No, everyone, all hands on deck, all Moors standing, all Moors with the titles. All of those titles belong to all Moors. Don't let anybody tell you any different. All titles belong to all Moors already. You don't need to take a specific class, but you do need to study. Study and stay in touch with your nation. That's important. Go back and look, if you have some time. There are a couple of videos that talk about that whole Postmaster General piece. There are some videos, and they're hypothecated, so don't believe everything in them. They're, you know, but you all know that. I don't have to tell you that. They're not altogether great, you know, altogether truthful, but they give you a glimpse into what the corporate people are trying to do that we were born to do. You know, things like, for example, parse syntax. Parse syntax is their attempt at coming out of corporate English. But even then, they can't really come out of corporate English because you actually have to have more than just the change in language to not use corporate English. You actually have to be of a bloodline and birthright so that you don't have to use it. Or else, you know how they say, well, if you don't fill out our form, you don't get blah, blah, blah. That's an attempt to keep you in that corporate English box so that you don't step out into your nobility and start defining what you're saying and your intention truthfully and precisely. Some people call it Old English. It's not Old English. Old English is the hypothecation of ancient English. So study what a Postmaster General does, and you will be, and then place your documents on the public record in all lowercase letters in red, stating that you are the Postmaster General for your territory once you've done the study on what Postmaster Generals do. And remember, you're going to be, we have many sovereign authorities. We have many sovereign authorities. Having that one as one that you have on your document is going to clear the path when certain things, when there's attempts to stop you from doing certain things. Okay? Especially when you're doing them in honor. And everything that we do must be done in honor. It must be. And we can tell you, or not to tell you, because we don't tell sovereigns what to do, we only make suggestions. But we can suggest a whole list of things to do. But if the energy is not right when you do them, they're not going to work. And when I say energy, I mean that you, that you're doing things in honor, honorably. Honorably just means that you don't have ill intent for anyone, you're not warring with anyone, and what you're doing is actually to free yourself and to gain control of your estate. Okay? That is very, very important. Have honorable intent. Justice Genesis, did you want to say a little bit about that? I see you put it in the chat. I don't mean to put you on the spot. I'm sorry. But yes, intention means everything. If we're warring with the subject, I would just say don't do it. I've been telling people not to do that. And there are people that I've said, please stop warring with them. And when they didn't stop warring with them, they ended up, places they didn't want to be. And I don't want to see that happen to any of the Moors. I don't. None. And we have to be honorable in what we do. We cannot be, deceitful in what we're doing, or that ends up putting people in places they don't want to be. We don't ever have to be in places that we don't want to be in, Moors. Know that. We don't ever have to be in places we don't want to be. We don't. Let's see, just a moment. Okay. I'm just looking at some of the notes in the chat. We don't ever have to be any place we don't want to be, and that is the truth. When we do our demonstrations that we're doing, and we do them honorably, our ancestors will honor them. They'll honor them, and they will honor our energy, and they will honor that they see in us that reflects them. That's really important. That's actually the most important thing, because even when we may not know all that we need to know, if our energy is honorable and our intention is honorable, the ancestors will honor that and still make, assist in making demonstrations successful. I'm a living witness to that, And then don't be afraid of testing. Don't be afraid to be tested. There were some Moors who were recently giving their testament on Dr. Nyella, one of her things that she had this past Tuesday, one of her electronic meetings that she had this past Tuesday. And they tested beautifully. They tested beautifully because they are in touch with their energies, the energies. If when we are tested, okay, and we get angry and we start talking bad about everything and everyone and not realizing that we're being tested because of we need to be sharpened, then testing is not going to go well. The thing that makes testing go well is our response to it. If we're angry and mad and blaming everyone else the whole time, then testing is not going to go well, and it's going to last a lot longer than we would like for it to last. Know that all Moors are being tested right now. All Moors are being tested right now. Okay? And when I say tested, we're really actually just being gently pushed out of that system, the capitalism system. And so capitalism is being used to sharpen us and to pull us out of that system and to make us stand. And what does capitalism mean and what does it look like? It looks like mortgages. It looks like fake corporate court cases. It looks like bills, quote unquote bills that, seemingly are due, that they're not even talking to us because that stuff is in all capital letters, et cetera, et cetera. it looks like everything that has to do with citizens. Islam, Justice, Genesis, yes, please.
Islam, this is Justice Genesis. I just wanted to say that I am being tested and being brought out of that capitalist system, so much so that a year ago I was taken off of long-term disability by some doctor that's a quack, but I was taken off of long-term disability, and then right after that I was diagnosed with breast cancer. I've gone through all of the surgery, the radiation, the chemo, all of that. Then the other day I was told that I'm no longer employed at my job. So I was on disability, been on disability for 13 years, and now all of a sudden I'm being taken out of that system. And I was upset at first, and I was hurt, and I was in tears because I'm losing my insurance, my life insurance, my health insurance, all of that. But then I thought about it, and I said, well, maybe it's because the universe is moving me from that system on to greater things. So that's about the size of it.
Empress, let me tell you, I'm so glad you know that that's happening for that reason. Because knowing that right there is half the battle. It's actually 90% of the battle, really. Because out of all of the things that they've piled on you, seemingly, none of those things that's not your debt, first of all. Second of all, any hospitalization, anything that has to do with hospitals, the heirs have always been taken care of without having to pay anything.
Yes.
We always have. And in fact, when we pay them, we're giving them money for something that allows them to use our credit to do things.
Yes,
and so we have to put that in its rightful place. We have to put it in its rightful. I'm glad you said that. We have to put it in its rightful place.
Yes, we do. And I do have to give credit, though, because Cancer Treatment Centers of America, they paid my the premiums that the long-term disability said I owed and the job said I owed whole year. Paid it. They took care of everything, and I didn't have to pay anything. So, and I knew that. I knew it. I just knew it in my spirit that I wasn't going to have to do anything, that I was going to still be able to go through with my treatment and everything. Because in the middle of radiation, they said, oh, your insurance was canceled. So now, just the other day, now your health insurance is gone, your life insurance is gone, even though they were paying cash for it. So, but I'm being moved out of that system because now it's time to go to the Fifth Amendment. It's time to go to higher realms, and I'm just knowing these things, and I don't know how I know them. This is coming to me.
Yes, this is the age of knowing, so you're going to know that stuff.
Yes, yes.
But
I'm not going to take
go
over
ahead,
calls.
No, go ahead, because we need to hear. Because what you're facing is the same thing many more are facing, or something similar.
Yes.
We need to talk about that stuff. And then put those sovereign affidavits and creditor status. And now remember what we said about the Postmaster General. The Postmaster General was in charge of all of that commerce and all of that corporate debt and all of that stuff. Okay? So you may think, now this is important, Morris, please hear me. You may think that sending an unum sanctum document along with your appellation change in all lowercase letters and a lien and what else? And a Postmaster General affidavit, you may think that they won't know what that means and they only know. Listen, they know exactly what it means because that's where they get their orders from. The hospitals do too. The hospital is actually where the Okay, just a minute. It's unlocked, Empress Amara. It's unlocked. I just unlocked it. Thank you for that. The hospital is actually considered to be docked on our land. It's considered to be a ship docked on our land. And when the babies come out in the hospital, the doctor, the doc, is actually, and this is something that I just learned recently, all doctors are registered with the Port Authority as harbor masters. Did you know that? So that they can put us out to sea at birth. Or when you go in for those treatments and things like that. Yes, truth. Truth. Because at that time, you're considered a crew member, or not a crew member, but you boarded the ship. You boarded the ship, and now they're going to transport you at sea, out to sea somewhere, lost out there, and attempt to call you a name that's not yours, and bill you for things that's not yours, when in reality you're the sovereign standing on the land, and none of that is supposed to be the case. But it's going to happen in some form or another to all of us, all Moors, if we don't stand. And when it does happen, we must step. We cannot be in citizen status even going into that kind of stuff. We must be sovereign, original, indigenous Moors in our rightful place at all times. We must be. Or else they're going to attempt to lien their citizens. And everyone is getting to the point where no matter where you domicile, no matter how you get around, no matter what you eat, no matter what you do, they're going to find a way to lien you that fake name, not you, because they can't lien the Moors. Lien that fake name, whether it be IRS, hospital, people trying to attempt to take domiciles, etc. All of that is what's being set up right now. With everyone not working, by the millions, the ejection is about to happen. Get ready for it. Put your sovereign documents on the public record and then send them out and notify everyone that you think needs to be notified. Policy enforcers, fake mortgage companies, all of that, the fake people, anyone that's sending you anything. And then for the babies, because I see someone in the chat put that they have a 2-year-old, you need to create sovereign, original, indigenous, universal, living birth affidavits for them. You need to do that. All you have to do, and I see a lot going on in the chat. Someone said doc means to take. Yes, it does. And that's D-O-C. And then when you put a K on it, it is a C term. But in reality, and this is the thing about our ancient English, those all mean the same thing, whether you spell it D-O-C, D-O-C-K, or however you spell it. It's still going to mean that they're trying to take from you. And that's why it doesn't matter how you spell it. Come on, ancient English and Moorish Latin and Phoenician. Anything we pull out of the Akashic record and spell it the way we want to spell it, because then it's going to mean what we say it means and not what someone else is saying it means. That's why we've changed our language. to a sovereign language. And guess what? We still overstand one another. Clear as day. But we spell it the way we want to spell it. And then it means what we intend for it to mean, because really when you speak, intention is everything. And then with regard to, listen, anyone who's issuing Social Security numbers in all capital letters, et cetera, why do they issue those? Because they need a sandwich. So, you know, we have to come out of that system, and then we can turn around to that system and tell the subject what to do. But we have to come out of it. You can't stay in that system and try and operate as a citizen. You can't. You have to declare your nationality, declare that you are the creditor, the executor, the claimant, and we spell all of that differently from the way they spell it, so that it means what you know, our sovereign intent means for it to say. And terminate all corporate contracts and create a sovereign security number. Sovereign security number by affidavit. Now, okay, I see in the chat it says, any suggestions on my grandniece that's about to come to the world? Create a sovereign universal affidavit, a birth affidavit for her, if she's bloodline and birthright. And, you know, all of the documents that they would normally issue, your government must issue them, and you are your government, so you must issue them. You must issue them.
Can I say
okay. Oh, sure. Go ahead, Empress. Go ahead, Empress. Sorry.
With my grandchildren, they don't have no birth certificate or anything, and my grandson, his father was trying to take him because, you know, my daughters are kidnapped, and when the so-called administrator was trying to bring her in in the venue, and she didn't respond to him, or she didn't do anything. She just put the proclamation in the case and showed his Moorish ID, and they didn't want to have nothing to do with it. They threw the case out.
Islam. That's what they're supposed to do. And they're really not supposed to have Moors in there at all, but it's good that she stood on her square.
Islam.
Islam. We must, thank you for that, Empress, we must stand. And it's getting to the point now where whenever we say anything, they're jumping and starting to do exactly what we tell them to do, and it's not taking them as long as it used to. But we have to stand. There is no benefit to being a citizen, none. No benefit to it. And anything that they give you, whether it's disability, VA, retirement, whatever it is, that is a resource on your land. You should have it. But you cannot use it as a citizen. You use it as the creditor. And all that is a matter of changing the paperwork that's on it. And the sovereigns can change the paperwork that's on it. Change it from a contract to an affidavit. Terminate the corporate contract and then put the affidavit that you're the creditor on that particular benefit. And then place it on the public record. You don't even have to call them and tell them that you're an heir if you don't want to. They're supposed to be checking the public record because they're all public servants. All of them are servants to the Moors. Some Moors say that they don't, you know, they think that by declaring who we are that we're going to have a bunch of slaves in chains. No. We don't put people in chains, but the people that are supposed to be doing the right thing with our estate here, which is we control the estate, but we have servants to fulfill those duties until all the Moors do it, or until we elevate to evolve beyond the system, which is actually where we're going, elevating beyond them. But in the interim, you know, for some, those systems still need to be in place. Just like the Empress who said that, you know, she had disability and they cut it off and all of a sudden everything's paid and et cetera. That we have to put affidavits on all of that. And then if you want to send the affidavit to them, you should. That's a suggestion. You know, sovereigns do what they want to do. But I would send it to them. I send, just from my perspective, I send affidavits out everywhere. As far as I'm concerned, there are no other options because that citizen stuff does not work. It just doesn't. And right now, they're planning on getting rid of the citizens because they can't afford them anymore. Okay? They're getting rid of the citizens.
Can I speak?
Sure.
This is Empress Minnie Price from Detroit area. And I just wanted to let everybody know, one call we had, people was like, I hear everyone saying, do the liens work? I can say they do work because I remember when Sharon Tracy Gale Bay did her liens, and when they kidnapped her, it was so many Avions online saying, she liened me. The only thing I did was said this and said that. So that assured me that they was getting the liens. And it was
I didn't even know they were online saying that. Go ahead, Empress. I'm sorry.
Yes, it was like 4 or 5 Avions, because they would grab her case and be discussing it, and I end up following. Excuse me?
Go ahead, Empress. Go ahead, Empress.
Yes,
hold on for a minute. Let me just find out who that is that keeps interrupting. Go ahead, Empress.
Yes, and I just wanted to know, that assured me and let me know that our liens, when they go out, they doing what they supposed to do, because these Avions wouldn't be on YouTube complaining in their videos on their platform. Because some of them were taking up platform, just had hers there, major discussion for weeks and months after she was first kidnapped. And it was this one Avion, she kept saying over and over how Tracy had liened her.
Islam. I don't listen to the stuff they say out there. I don't know who they are, and I don't fill my ear gate with that. But I'm glad somebody listened, so we can, because I didn't know that they were complaining about all of that, but they know. Now, this is the crazy part. The ones that come in here, the 2 or 3 that come in here, the Albions that come in here talking about, prove that your liens work. They're in cahoots with the other ones, so they know they work.
They know. Absolutely.
That's why we don't give that any energy.
Yes, and
there is no. Go ahead, Empress. Sorry.
Yes, and I started watching her for a minute, and it do, watching people that speaking negative on the Moors and what we do, it do drive you into anger. So I watched her for so long, and it started making me angry a lot because I know why they kidnapped Sharon, because she was so intellect and she was making it so basic for the basic people to understand nationality and to understand which way to go.
Yes.
And she was a powerful woman, and they did that would bring them down, the power and the energy that she had. So
and they haven't done that, and they haven't. And in fact, they've just motivated her more so.
Yes, they were so afraid of her, That was the thing. They were so afraid of how many people she could empower. And I have to say, I am one of the people that she empowered. I am one of the people because before she broke things down the way she did it, I was lost for a minute. And when I found Tracy, I can hear Taj talk, but when I first heard Taj, he was like on a depth level that I couldn't comprehend because I was just getting into everything. But I kept listening and I kept listening. Then I found Tracy, and she broke things down so simple to me. So when I did start going back and listening to Todd, it sounded so simple, the things that he was saying, now that I listened to her, and she broke things down to the first grade level for me. And that's what I got from her. She break things down so that a first grader can comprehend it.
Yes, yes. Islam, thank you so much. That is absolutely vital. And now you can do the same thing for other Moors.
Exactly.
I know you're already doing it. I know you're already doing it. You can do the same thing for other Moors so that they get it. Because we all are at different levels in our growth, we need to be able to relate to who we're hearing, so that it makes it easier to understand everybody else that's speaking. You know.
Yes.
So I'm glad you're here, Empress, because we need that voice that can connect with everyone on that level as well. I'm not as good at that as Empress Sharon. You know, because but she's got it. She's got it, and you have it, and there are many other Moors out there who connects with that energy. It's vital to our nation, vital to our nation.
Yes,
vital like a heartbeat.
Because the way she gave is how most of the Moors, so-called African Negroes and African American, that's how they have to hear to even comprehend it, because our reading level and our comprehension level concerning law and concerning what our nationality, because I didn't even have the slightest idea what nationality was.
Islam.
And I researched and researched, but when I found Tracy, she broke it down so well. Now I'm able to go and listen to Taj and know what he's talking about. Relate with him.
Empress, I'm going to, pull from your energy a little bit and just issue I'm gonna issue a little challenge to you. Just a little challenge. And it's, whenever you're ready, I would love to see you start doing videos and talking to the Moors like that so they can hear.
Yes,
that's my name. I'm just saying.
Yes.
Whenever you're ready.
Yeah. I'm preparing myself now.
Yes. And even if it's a 5-minute video just on nationality.
Yes, and we have to start that. We really, really have to start doing that.
Yes. All Moors on this call and all Moors who can hear this video and this recording, you should all be doing something to get the word out about nationality. Something. Even if you don't like being on camera, I know not all Moors like being on camera. Okay, do some recordings and post them on social media somewhere. Or get a website and give us put the link to the website on there so people can see your information. We need as many outlets putting the energy out there as possible so that those that your message is tailored for can hear it. Tariq. Islam. We actually need as many Moors as possible out there doing videos, out there declaring nationality. It is indeed the order of the day. However you do it, and that's the thing, it doesn't have to be professional birthday cake pretty. None of us, it's not like that for any of us. We just do it. Sometimes the video's not working. Sometimes the sound is in and out. Sometimes people are interrupting the meeting is not even for them, etc. But we have to keep going. And we do. Nothing can stop the Moors. nothing, and I do mean nothing, no thing, no matter, no thing can stop the Moors. So all Moors, anything you can do, even if it's just reading a name change document and saying, this is what I did on my name change document. Okay. And Empress Inez, that is so true. That is so true. Empress Inez put in the chat that if you wait for perfection, you will never get the videos done and whatever it is you want to put out there. If you would listen, trust me, y'all see some of that stuff out there, but the information is out there. It has to be out there, and it's reaching people. And that's the point.
It's not, Empress.
Yes. Thank you so much, Empress Minnie. We appreciate you. You and all the Moors there in the Detroit territory. Michigan.
Yes, we are getting Michiganiga. We gonna have Michiganiga together. Yes. One more thing. We need. How do we? We got a lot of people coming in inquiring about nationality, but we trying to see how to. Issue them their MAC number as they come in without having to send paperwork off to.
Yeah, you don't have to send it off. You all are already a consulate. I've just been waiting for y'all to catch that piece right there. You just need like a 4 or 5 digit prefix, so MAC, and then 1 or 2 other letters, so that you. So, like, you all can be MACMI for Michigama. Okay. And then whatever number you issue after that will be their MAC number. So their MAC number consists of MACMI and then whatever you issue, and then one of the Moors there in the territory giving them their MAC numbers.
Islam. Great.
And I've been waiting for you all. I was hoping the ancestors would tell you that you're already a consulate.
Yes.
Instead of having to get you don't need somebody else's scepter to do the work. You don't need somebody to put some, you all are already doing the work. Just do it, and we're here. You all are already the Moorish American consulate, all of you. Every Moor on this call is the Moorish American consulate and the Moorish National Republic federal government already.
Islam.
This
is Brother Ray Bay in Detroit. I didn't know we even had a consulate here, and I'd like to know how can I reach the consulate in Detroit, Michigan territory.
Empress Minnie, you want to help them out?
Yes.
Islam.
Yes, I will. I would love to help them out because we meet twice a week and once a week now since they started this. We done started back meeting together, joining. So you can reach me at 313-854-9882. And
you got that, brother?
Yes, I'm sure Brother Fati is on the call.
854-9882.
313-854-9882. Absolutely.
Empress.
All right. Empress Price Bay.
Price Bay. Okay.
Justice Price Bay.
Justice Price Bay.
Yes.
Islam.
Yes.
I love it. Light. This is Tiger. Yes. Greetings. I want to add to this to help everybody out even more. Someone suggested it back in January. I had an attitude because I had this court case which actually has been dropped. Now I got the other one to get it dropped and we'll be all right. But there's this global credit facility that allows everyone to go up there with no ID and anything. Just go get it. Your name, just go up there and then you go get credit and you go out there and start buying up everything.
Are they giving fiat?
No, it's credit. It's you. It's Delarium and Neocash and Nomni. It's all the cryptocurrency that's used as tokens, and that's used the banking instruments such as what is it called? Letters of credit and bonds and promissory notes that you use with the cryptocurrency, and you go out and start buying up everything. And this will help us acquire this estates, what they want, that's how we're going to buy it back.
No. Hold it. Stop a minute, because you know I got red flags going up all up over the place. First, when you say the word bond, I'm thinking bondage. So but just help me clarify, because I don't want to mute, you know, that I want, because there's some principles in it that we could probably use. But I want to be sure that people are not signing things where they're being put back into a corporate setting. And
Understood.
if they're not signing in all lowercase letters, and here's the thing, who is it? Is it a treasury that's doing that? Who is doing that?
It's the World Credit Union. They created last year. Took several years to get it together through the United Nations Development Program to eradicate poverty off the planet.
Yeah.
So,
the United Nations ain't eradicating no poverty. They're not. They are actually still a corporation. So they, you know, we're going to have to lean them again for that fraud right there. That's fraud. They can't do that. They can't do that. And they're not giving out dollarium, that's for sure. We know that because none has left our inventory. We know that for a fact. So whoever it is being fraudulent. Okay, let me not say fraudulent, because I still need to get all, because I want to be sure that I'm getting all of the info. Let me not say fraudulent, but if they're saying that they're giving out dollarium has not left the inventory. But
it's on the sheet called Xchain, X and CHAIN.io, and you put in the search dollarium, and it shows the.
Have you used it?
No, I've looked it up. I've been reading everything, and I should send you the same information so you can see for yourself, because I thought it sounded good.
Well, you know, everything that sounds good probably ain't good, especially if it's not done by Moors.
Well, there was a guy named...
The United Nations ain't Moors. The United Nations is not with capital letters. Does it have any capital letters on it?
You know, you might have to just send it to her, let her review it, man. Let's go forward.
Yeah, that sounds good.
May I ask Scimitar about Indiana Territory, ma'am?
Hold on just a minute, Scimitar, and let us get this piece taken care of first.
Yeah, I'm trying to get some clarity.
So claiming that it's United Nations is a corporation. Okay.
We don't just the development plan, but there's a more that was to create the credit union, and it's a global credit facility. But you know something? Now that you brought all that up, I got to reread everything. I'll just send you a copy of everything here, and then we have.
Okay, but he's on the call, so so he can answer.
May I give you an understanding?
We'll talk about that at another. We'll talk about that at another time, because you know certain words raise red flags for all of us, and I don't want the Moors to be uncomfortable with that.
But I can give some clarity to us, Empress.
Is it working for you? Answer that question. Is it working for you?
Yes. I used the credit. Took care of this contract here for my office space, and so I used a letter of credit. So it launched that they're actually paying off the debt and public and private. So, and it gives them instructions how to go up to the credit facility and tap the account and take Tiger, that's enough. Public and private, that's enough. That's enough. Okay,
that's enough.
Sorry.
We're good. We're good. We're good. Scimitar, we're good.
Yeah.
That is something that you all must promote on your own platform, because we don't know enough about it to promote it here, and this is not a platform that we promote things on. Okay, and especially not anything that has to do with finance, because we know that people are using things other than gold-backed lawful, and so we want to make sure that gold-backed lawful currency is used at all times for all things. Okay.
Well.
So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and and move beyond that because that's not why we're here. We want to be sure.
I apologize.
He didn't tell you everything. He didn't say it clearly.
Well, we don't really want to hear everything right now because that's not what this call is for. Islam. You'll respect that, won't you? You'll respect that, won't you, Scimitar?
He just understood what he was saying. That's all. It ain't got nothing to do with special instruments or nothing like that.
All right. Well, this is not the place to talk about it. Okay, and I'll say that once more. This is not the place to talk about that. We're interested in Moors getting nationalized on this call, and we're interested in declaring and proclaiming our vast estate the right way with gold and silver-backed lawful coinage. That may be a good program or process. I've not heard anything about it, and this is not the place to introduce it. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, no. Why are you in the pajamas? You got to walk.
Now, so, again, Morris, we're in the place where people are going to be coming at you with a bunch of stuff. We get it all the time. We can do this and we can do that, and I'm not saying that that's about those brothers. We love Scimitar. We love Justice Tiger, Justice Scimitar. We love them, and we're not talking about them. But since that came up, let's just say that as the heirs, there's going to be a lot of, as we move into continue controlling our vast estate, there is going to be a lot of fraud coming your way. And then some of it is not going to be fraud. It's just going to be something that you need to look closely at and know the principles. Because it's really amazing to me that everyone has now, all of a sudden, the answer is there. All of a sudden, the answer is there. But when we needed that stuff 5 years ago,
Rough in the Bay, New Jersey territory.
Islam, or 2 years ago, or however many years ago, or when Moors really needed some assistance, none of that stuff was available, and now all of a sudden everything is available. Well, we need to do the work on that. In order for something to be available, we need to do the work of doing the study and ensuring that no one comes up to us and just offers us something and we sell out right then. Okay? We're already going to, the estate is already ours. So who's offering us our estate? It's already ours. So who is it now that's stepping in the way of the corporation? Okay, now that we got the corporation out the way, who is it now that's offering? Yes, what is the source? Because we know we're the source. Okay, we know we're the source. And we don't need to sign something over to someone who's going to get a sandwich off of us and leave us holding the debt bag. We've done enough of that. And that, again, now remember, you all, each Moor, is the Postmaster General, the universal one, not just the one for the territory, but universally. You are.
Empress? I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Islam.
Islam.
Can you hear me now?
Islam.
Okay.
Islam.
Each one of you is Postmaster General. So you're in charge of commerce, not the UN, not the US, not the UK, not the EU, Islam, Justice Dearborn. Okay? You all are, we are, together as a nation and sui generis. But we don't operate alone. We all are operating as the nation and the government and the law. So now how all of a sudden, okay, what really needs to happen is what the Empress was saying earlier. Those systems, that capitalist system needs to get in alignment with the Moors so that that fraud won't continue to happen. And it's starting to do that. When they see sovereign, original, indigenous documents coming through, they take notice and take action, and that's what they're supposed to do. Fix whatever it is in that system that's bothering the creditor that you think is a citizen. Let's do that. Instead of being so, we don't want to appear, and it's not even a matter of appearance. Why would we get this close to complete control? And we already have complete control of the estate. That's not even, we never lost control, really. We just have to know we have it and then exercise it, use it. And that's what we're doing now. We have to first fix where the, and I don't want to use the word hemorrhaging, but fix where resources are leaving the source without the source's consent. We have to fix that first. Then we can have resources coming in from our estate and from our nation that stay with us and cannot just go out the front door because a policy enforcer said so, or because a fake judge said so, or because a fake utility company says so, or because a fake mortgage company says so. We have to first fix it so that that does not happen. So we have to get them in alignment first. Then all of the other stuff can come. That's how this works. We demonstrate that capitalism is not in control of our estates or anything. And then we can possess and declare and proclaim and have. But why would the ancestors give us 100 trillion, or let's just say 100 million? And then the minute the tax man says you owe 75 million, we give it to him because we don't know how to demonstrate that the tax man doesn't have any authority over us. The ancestors are not going to give us that until we know how to demonstrate that no one has higher authority than the Moors. And court actions are absolutely, you all are, listen, the one who was the corporate Postmaster General, okay, who had all of the doctors in the hospital registered as harbor masters, waiting at the end of the delivery table to take the heirs and traffic them, because really it's about transportation, it's about shipping. What ship were we put on without our consent, really? There was no full disclosure. Our mothers would never have done that with full disclosure, had they known. But now that we know, when you know better, you do better. Okay? When you know better, you do better. Islam. So now, we have, just a moment. I'm going to, just a moment. Okay. So now, from this point, Justice Malik, you were going to give a reading really quickly about where we are in terms of the cosmos and the astrology.
Yes, Islam, everyone. Hope everything's going well with you guys. So yeah, I just wanted to give basically a brief summary of what's going on, and also I just wanted to share my journey too of following the stars, and basically, okay, let me see where to start.
I thought you were
okay,
going to
so
do
basically
the reading.
when I came into this, I'm this goes along with my reading.
Okay.
Yeah.
Islam.
So basically, you know, this is the start of my, or this was the start of my journey. When I came into, you know, the information about, you know, who we are and, you know, our ancestors and so on and so forth and where we're going. So I actually took a leap of faith by following the stars. And this was before I actually knew that this was our actual quote unquote religion. This was our law, you know, and following astrology. And so once I came into this information, I was like, wow, you know, I came into the awakening of, you know, why am I in the system for when I'm not even really supposed to be in the system? And you know, what am I doing still, you know, wrapped up with this bill, that bill, so on and so forth. So what I decided to do, right, was actually sacrifice living in a home, right? So for 8 months, I actually decided to live out my car. You know, I was also running my business, basketball training, and I was doing that out of my car. And you know, during that time of 8 months, you know, I ran into the policy enforcers, and they decided to steal my vehicle, not my vehicle, but excuse me, I'm just trying to get my thoughts straight. But yeah, they decided to steal my conveyance, my vessel, right? And so, you know, I literally had no place to stay, and that was for about a week or so. And then months later, at the end of my 8 months of living out of my car actually, you know, shut down. Battery died and everything. I had to take it into the shop. And then that was a whole nother story. So long story short, you know, my car is still in the shop, and for almost 4 months I was living homeless, right? No place to stay, no nothing. And you know, I kept my faith strong in the stars. That's what kept my strength. I kept running my business and so forth. Kept my strength in the stars. And everything that, you know, I read in the stars came to fruition. And everything that I'm still reading, I'm still keeping strong, and I know it's going to happen. And so this is what our ancestors went off of to you know, see what was going to happen in the future, to know how to prepare for things and so forth, right? So that's actually my journey. There's a little bit more to it, but you know, just for you guys to get the gist of it. So that's my journey right there. Now, as far as what's happening in the cosmos, right? This information is coming from Simone Matthews. You could definitely check her out, her website and so forth. You know, great information, and really ties into what's going on currently in the world and what we are doing as well. Now, with that being said, basically, the photon belt, there's something called a photon belt. Please check it out. Please do your own research. and see what this means exactly. So, the photon belt is a torque field of energy. And a torque field, just to give you a picture of a torque field, right? It's almost like a donut, right? It's almost like an energy going spiraling around like a donut, and basically this torque field of energy emanates out from the alcyon, right, in the Pleiades, right, which is the star system. It's a cluster of stars in the constellation, a Taurus constellation nearest to Earth, right? So with that being said, what are photons, right? Photons are the smallest possible particles of light in quantum physics, and photons are emitted during the transmission of one energy state to another. Photons have a zero mass and no electrical charge, and this is the energy of the future, right? So look into that. Once again, this is the energy of the future, okay? Photons are what the ancients harnessed as energy for communication, stellar travel, meaning star travel, and energy production, and much more, right? So, during our solar system's 26,000-year transit of Alcyon, right, which is the star in Pleiades, or the biggest sun in Pleiades, right? We spent 11,000 years outside of the photon belt, right? And we actually spent 2,000 years inside the photon belt, right? So basically cycles of creation. So our Earth rotates around our sun, taking approximately 365 days for one complete revolution, right? Then our sun actually rotates around our solar system, right? Which is rotating around Alcyon, which is the brightest star of the Pleiades constellation, as I mentioned before. So one complete revolution of our solar system around Alcyon takes approximately 26,000 years. And in addition, Alcyon and our solar system are revolving around the galactic core, which is the central region of our Milky Way galaxy. Okay, so one complete revolution takes approximately 225 million years. Now, with that being said, okay, the torque field of the Milky Way and the Pleiades are implicitly connected, okay? So, as energy waves move out of the galactic core of the Milky Way, it extends out to the torque field of Pleiades. Now, remember, the torque field is like a donut-shaped field of energy, okay? And so the electromagnetic energy is moving towards the galactic core and electrifying the Pleiades photon belt, bathing its field in waves of love, okay? So that's what it's projecting. It's called waves of love. And that's what's coming from the Milky Way to the photon belt in Pleiades, okay? So due to the width of the photon belt of the torque field, right, we spend 2,000 years in light, right? And then 11,000 years in darkness. So in total, this is 13,000 years, right? There goes number 13 again, right? The magic number. So basically, we reach the peak central region of the photon belt every 13,000 years. The last time the solar system was fully in the photon belt was the age of Leo, which was the complete opposite of where we are right now. We're in the age of Aquarius. All right, so keep that in mind. So basically, just as a summary, what is happening, right? Or actually, before I go into the summary, let me just keep on. Let me just read on so you guys fully understand what's going on. So now there's a galactic, or we're reaching into a galactic alignment, right? So in addition to our solar system transiting through the full-time belt of Alcyon, for 2,000 years, you know, there's a December solstice each year, as we all know, you know. And so basically, this is where our Earth, Sun, and galactic center in Sagittarius align on the galactic plane, which is the flat plane of our Milky Way, right? This alignment is referred to the galactic alignment, okay? So this is where the Earth, the Sun, and the galactic center, which is in Sagittarius, okay? Now, during this alignment, our astrological galactic evolutionary triangle, which is like a pyramid, called a tetrahedron of energy formed by Earth, Sirius, and Alcyon, and the galactic center, is amplified to its greatest potential for the year, okay? So this amplified tetrahedron of energy that surrounds us seeks to structure water, right, within our bodies, so that such we literally become walking liquid crystals, okay? So every cell within the body is thus bathed in galactic liquid crystals, all right? Which in turn activates our DNA and attunes our genetic potential. So just in case you guys didn't know, right, in our DNA, we only have 3% of our DNA active, right? There's still a 97% portion of our DNA that's inactive, right? So by us going through this phase, we're actually activating our inactive DNA, okay? So the galactic alignment cosmic blueprint formed by Earth, Sirius, and Alcyon, and the galactic center supports us in stepping in both individually and collectively into our greater evolutionary purpose, and helps us to step into the grandest version of the greatest vision that we have ever held for ourselves as a human liquid crystal, referred to crystallite healing, okay? So the energy of galactic alignment is also amplified through our solar system, transiting through full-time belt of Alcyon, and the essential birthing of divine feminine energy within our hearts, minds, and souls. So during this galactic alignment, Earth receives direct energetic transmissions from Alcyon and from our galactic core, which is the Milky Way, and which is the waves of love. Okay, the greater central sun is directly pulsing electromagnetic wave of love vibrations through our solar system, right, or through the central sun, Alcyon, through our sun into the Earth, right, bringing through very high pulsations and frequencies of light energy. So what is happening is electromagnetic energy is facilitating and shifting consciousness, okay? A divine shift of the level of awareness of humanity from the egoic 3D state of fear, right, which is false evidence appearing real, to the consciousness level of wisdom, which is 5D state of being. So just to sum it up very quickly, right, what is happening, okay, is that you have the Milky Way that we all pass through, okay? You have a constellation, which is Taurus. Okay, you have Pleiades, which is a star system in the constellation Taurus, okay? Pleiades has a sun, right, which is the biggest sun in Pleiades, called Alcyon, okay? So Alcyon gets these waves from the Milky Way, okay? These electromagnetic waves from the Milky Way, right? And so it transmits those waves to our sun. So it communicates with our sun, right? Which is called the waves of love, right? Communicates with our sun and projects photons through our sun down to the earth, okay? And then we as bioelectrical beings, as Dr. Savies would say, we as bioelectrical beings pick up this sunlight or this information which transforms our DNA so we can move from the 3rd dimension to the 5th dimension, all right? This is happening right now as we speak, all right? Now, for a lot of us that's moving from the 3rd dimension to the 5th dimension, there's going to be a lot of folks that's not going to be here with us, right? In order for us to move to the 5th dimension, we got to make sure that we are open to it, and we got to make sure that we're vibrating on a higher level, right? Consciously, right, and doing our studies and so forth, but also making sure that we're eating healthy as well, because as Dr. Savi says, we are bioelectrical beings, right? What the sun does to our food, right, our fruits and our veggies, they're basically liquid sun, right? And so as we eat these fruits and veggies, right, we actually gain information through the cosmos. So with the photons, the photon light that is coming from Pleiades, right, and then is jumping through the portal of our sun and coming down to communicate with us, right, is going into the fruits, the natural fruits and the natural veggies. And by us consuming that, we are actually bringing our vibrations to a higher level. We're bringing our body's intelligence to a higher level so that we can make that smooth transition into 5D.
Islam.
Right? And where we are right now, just so that people, just in case people aren't aware, right now this is the North Gate, aka, this is the land of Leo. Okay, in an astrological point of view, this is the land of gold. Right? This is the land of the sun, where we're at right now. All right.
That is so true.
So I just wanted to make sure I got this message across. And so this is going to be happening. We're going to be stepping, our pineal glands are going to be emitting light. Right. Our DNA is going to be activating, and our heart, etheric fields are going to be expanding into awakened consciousness all throughout from now to 2040, right?
Islam.
So we just want to make sure that we're open to it. Everything's working out in our favor. Within the next 45 days, there's going to be 3 eclipses, right? I put it in the chat. I'll repost it in the chat again. There's going to be 3 eclipses, 2 in June, which is June 5th, which is a lunar eclipse in Sagittarius, 15 degrees. You're going to have a solar eclipse, June 21st, right? And that's going to be in Cancer, 0 degrees. And then you're also going to have another lunar eclipse, July 5th, in 13 degrees, right? So now with the eclipses, right, as soon as eclipses happen, it takes about 6 months. So these eclipses run about 6 months. The energies on the planet run about 6 months. So we're really going to feel the effects from then all the way to December. And now remember, in December, right, that's when we're going to be in that alignment that I just spoke about, where we're going to have that, we're going to be in Sagittarius, right, and we're going to have that alignment with Ceres and with the Earth and with the sun. Right? Let me see if I could go back to it just to get you that the correct information. So the galactic.
Okay.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Okay. I was about to say the galactic alignment cosmic blueprint. This is with the Earth, Sirius, Alcyon, and the galactic center, right? And let me see. Okay, it's the Earth, Sun, and the galactic center. Yes, yes. So that's going to happen in December, and I believe you mentioned on another call, Empress Light, that there's going to be another eclipse in December, right?
It's going to be a conjunction of the 3 planets.
Okay. Okay.
Jupiter, Mars, and Saturn, I believe, which has not happened in thousands and thousands of years.
Yeah. That is so true. That is so true. Yeah. There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on in our favor.
Yeah, it is. It's actually all in our favor. All of it, everything that's happening now, is about the Moors. And I see in the chat, Empress Sarah put, in the practice of shamanism, the North Gate represents the ancient ones. That is so true. Did you know? And many of you know this, but for those newer Moors who did not know, the Moors at North America are the primogenitors of all other nations. So we were first, and all other nations come from us. And that is why this is so important, that we stand in our sovereign nobility and be who we really are, because the other nations of the earth need to see the primogenitors standing in our own sovereign status and not hidden under some corporation somewhere. Okay? And that is why all of this is so, so important. This work that is being done, that each one of you is doing, where you're doing your demonstrations, and you are making sure that all that you do is put on the public record, et cetera, et cetera. All of that is part and parcel of standing and ensuring that the government, that everyone knows who the government is, and everyone knows who the law is. We were first, and we will always be primogenitors. We cannot be anything other than that. Okay? So, having said that, thank you for everyone who contributed tonight to the call. We do need to keep speaking to one another. We need to keep talking. We need to keep sharing information. We need to keep doing court actions, because those are so important, because in reality, that is what governing is all about. We have a great number of court actions. Sometimes people call me early in the morning and say, "Empress Light, I have a court action at 9 o'clock. Can you attend?" And I'm always up and ready to do it, no matter how late I stayed up. So it's absolutely worth it, because that is what governing is all about. And that is why everyone in the fake Congress was a quote-unquote attorney or a quote-unquote judge, because governing is done through the court system, through our court system. Let me clarify that. There are no others. Everything else is fake, if it's not Moorish American, okay? And when I say everything else is fake, I don't mean other Moorish courts, because those are very real, and we honor them. We honor all Moorish courts, all Moorish governments, even the temples. We honor them, the ones that are doing the right thing. But when we say fake courts and fake corporations, we're talking about the occupiers, those who were previously unlawfully occupying our land, and they're now getting into subject status as we stand and get into our rightful place. Okay. Are there any other anyone else who wants to declare their nationality? Is there anyone else who wants to declare their nationality? Star 6, please, so that we can get you connected. Okay. And then if there's Islam.
And just in the meantime, in between time, I just wanted to thank you so much, Empress Light, for all the information that you put out, you know, leading the way and being able to set the example, and you know, it was and still is so helpful, and I appreciate you so much for that.
Islam, and I appreciate you as well. The astrology readings, we need to know where we are and what the stars say. Islam, any other questions or comments or any updates in your territory, anything? And also, are there any Moors who need to connect with other Moors in your territory? Because there are, if you'll just say what territory you're in, any Moors who are in that territory on this call can speak up and say, hey, I'm in that territory too, so let's see if we can get together. Is there anyone who needs to hook up with other Moors in your territory? Just let us know where you are, and the Moors who are there can, okay. I see some in the chat. Those who are in the territories that are mentioned in the chat, connect with the Moors that are there. We have Indiana Territory speaking up. We have Michigama Territory speaking up. We have Peoria, Illinois Territory speaking up. We have Kenmore, Washington Territory. We have Mississippi Territory speaking up. So look in the chat and connect with Moors in your territory. We have Connecticut Territory, Colorado Territory. We have Virginia Territory in the chat. Those are Moors putting their information out there so that you can connect with other Moors in that territory and assist one another as we rise. Islam, yes.
This is Ampasa Bay. Is there anyone in the Islam? Is there anyone in the Arkansas area?
Is anyone in Arkansas Territory? Empress Genesis, would you like to connect, because that's the closest to it? Empress Genesis, with the Empress that's speaking? Yes. Okay. Empress that's in the Arkansas Territory. Empress Genesis is she assists with Memphis Territory, but she can assist as well. So if you would like to connect with her, Empress Genesis, how would you like for that connection to be made? Email, whatever you want to give to her in order to connect. Okay. Empress Genesis did put her email address in the chat. Empress Genesis, do you want to go ahead and give that information? If you'll just star 6 so that she can hear your voice.
My apologies, Islam.
Yes, Islam.
This is Empress Genesis. I am in the Peoria, Illinois Territory, and I'm originally from the Memphis Territory, and I do help with Memphis, Tennessee. My email address, I can be reached at WONDRAHP, as in Pi, I-E,
Empress, you kind of faded out just a little bit, and there was a little bit of background noise. Go ahead.
I apologize. It's WondraPiel@gmail.com. That's WondraPiel@gmail.com.
Okay, Empress, did you get that? The Empress that called from
Arkansas territory.
Arkansas territory, yes. I want to be sure that she was able to write that down so that you all can connect. Hold on, let me see if I can.
Because I don't hear her anymore with all that static. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, and I can't unmute her for some reason. Hold on for just a moment. Let me see if I can just. Okay. I'm going to mute. I'm going to hit this mute button and then unmute, and maybe she'll be able to. Okay, so everybody's it's going to mute for a second, but then just start speaking. Okay, let me see if I can find her here. And her unmute it's grayed out, so I can't unmute her. I see her still on the call. I'm hoping that she got that information.
Yes, I'm hoping she heard me. And I put it in the chat that way. Hopefully she got it out of the chat.
Okay, good.
Islam.
Yes.
This is Justice Tariq out of Colorado Territory, Denver, Colorado specifically. I was just going to make an announcement for anyone that's in the Colorado Springs area. The Central Region will be having a group gathering at Del Mar Park here in Aurora, Colorado this Sunday at 1 p.m. So those that are in this area should pretty much know where that park is at or whatever, because it's a large park. So all those that are in the area are more than welcome to attend.
Islam. You know, we need to be doing more of that, you know. We do need to be doing more of that. West is going to have something soon, and anyone from anywhere is welcome to come here when we have our gatherings. And we plan on having a lot more of them. We know that, but there's a couple of things we want to get out the way first. We need to get this whole travel situation together with our identification, where everyone is on the same page in terms of the corporation. And what we did today is part of that. So please, I encourage all Moors to place a sovereign, original, indigenous, universal postmaster general affidavit on the public record. And you can just make it a one-page statement, because no one can tell the original indigenous that that we cannot be the postmaster generals of our land. And so I'll give you just a little hint about that. So when I first did the video today and uploaded it today, there was a significant pause in whether the video was going to be distributed or not. I tried to distribute the video on Facebook when I first uploaded it, and it said that the video was not available yet. So I know that it causes a bit of a stir, you know. Yes. So when I put it up there, it goes right to where I want it to go, and I can distribute it freely. That particular one, it took them about 2 or 3 minutes to let it go. And that's a long time when you post something and you expect it to be posted right away. And that's okay. We expected, you know, a little bit of, you know, something there that happens. And so, you know, again, all Moors, and before you do the postmaster affidavit, please be sure that you have terminated all corporate contracts and that you don't have any corporate contracts out there, that you have not claimed that benefit or whatever it is as the creditor and not as the debtor. We cannot be debtors ever. And one last thing, and then we will conclude the call. We will conclude until next time. We'll continue it next time, because I don't like to say conclude. We'll continue it next time, but the reason why we can never have any debt there's also someone in Florida Territory who's put their information in the chat as well. But we cannot be debtors, because if you'll think about our accounting and what we do when we hand someone a sovereign gold credit instrument from the creditors, we hand them, it's like handing them a gold bar. Well, when you hand them a gold bar, that hasn't created any debt for them. None at all. And in fact, they can turn around and take that gold bar and use it as credit somewhere else and say, hey, I'll give you half of this gold bar for whatever. Well, that makes them a creditor, basically, when they accept our instrument. And all along the way, you're creating creditors all along the way, okay? And meanwhile, you can create as much of that as you care to create. And then those that you have enriched and made solvent, okay? Those that you've made solvent can then come back and say, hey, well, you know, you made me solvent, so I'm going to upgrade whatever it is that I make, and then I'll bring you what it is so that you can just, you know, have better technology and have better clothing and have better food and have better this, that, and a third. Because then everyone's being made solvent, whereas the debt system is gone. Okay? And it's gone for us. Some people say, well, we still using fiat, you know, blah, blah, blah. Listen, only for another moment. As you can see, it's leaving the land very quickly. And not even those who printed it have anymore. And so it's time for the creditors to step forward. We have done that, and we continue to do that. Okay? And yes, we are the one they call Midas, where everything we touch turns to gold. Absolutely. If a sovereign touches something, it's automatically become a credit. If it was a debt of any kind, we touch it, it becomes a credit. Automatically. Everyone knows this. We're the only ones who did not know it. Okay? So having said that, we've gone about 2.5 hours now. We want to wind it down. But Morris, thank you so much for your demonstration. You all have me crying sometimes when I hear these demonstrations coming through. Morris doing this and that. And even if you think that your demonstration was not successful, it absolutely was, because we all learn from them. So even share the ones that are not successful or that you think are not successful, because then we can assist one another with all that's going on. And we have the forums to do that. Okay? Peace and grand rising to the Moors, to the heirs to all land, all natural resources, and all. Grand rising, Islam.
Grand rising, Islam.
Grand rising, grand rising.
Grand rising, Islam.
Islam. Love and peace, Morris.
Yes, Islam.
Islam. Grand rising.
Islam. Islam.
Grand rising, Morris.
Grand rising, Morris. Peace and love.
Islam. Grand rising.
Much love, Morris. Islam shalom.
Islam.
Okay, my skins come on.
Peace and love, Morris. Islam.
Islam, Morris.
Islam.
Islam, Morris. Will you that movement? I'm loving it. Hear that going on out there? The Morris is on the move.
Islam, Justice Abasi, yes.
Justice Abasi.
Yes.
Empress Light.
Yes.
Yes, I did my termination of all contracts, but I still can't figure out how to upload it on the Moorish website.
Okay, so do you have it scanned in?
I have it. Where do I scan? I had a scan on the computer.
Okay, yeah. So you would need a separate printer or scanner at home, or you can go to someplace like FedEx, Kinko's, or someplace like that, and you can scan in the document and make it into an electronic file. Okay. So you tell them that you want to be a PDF file. So you want to scan your document in to as a PDF, and then you can upload the PDF to the Moorish American Council of Public Records.
Pardon me, Empress Light. I wanted to expound on that. That she doesn't have to actually go anywhere to get it scanned. You can download Adobe Scan on your phone if you have a smartphone or on your computer. There are several apps that are like free scanner apps, and then you end up taking the picture of it, and it comes out as a scan picture or as a picture, whichever way you want it. And then you can upload it that way. And that's a free. I have a free one, and then Adobe Scan gives you so many free.
Okay.
So can you give her your number so that she can get that information, or you can maybe send her.
No, absolutely. I can give her my number.
Okay.
Are you ready, sister?
Let me get a pen.
Okay.
Okay. I'm ready.
And this is Empress Genesis. Yes, my telephone number is area code 901. It's 1901. My apologies. 315